Hey, you guys, I'm back with news, views, and conversation. I want to pop back in and talk about what happened in Winder, Georgia, this past Wednesday, right after the Labor Day holiday. It happened in Winder, Georgia at Apalachee High School. One of the students there, Colt Gray, he is accused of deleting four people at the school. Uh, Mason Schermerhorn is one of the students. Christian Angulo, he's 14. He's also one of the students. And Richard Aspinwall, he's 39. He was a math teacher and I believe a coach. And Christina Ermerme, she was 53. She was also a math teacher. So this student, Colt Gray, is accused of deleting those four and he wounded nine others. So they were victims. They survived. I believe they were transported to Grady Memorial Hospital, which is one of the best trauma hospitals in Atlanta, a hospital that I was also born at. Um, a lot is going on here in this story. It sounds like a lot of things have gone on in this young man's life before this incident happened. So I kind of want to like go over, you know, a little bit of detail. A lot has happened within 3 days. I just want to get to the main parts as fast and as quick as I can so you can understand where we're going with this. So far he has been arrested. They pretty much have let him know that he could do life or the death penalty, but I believe since he's so young, he doesn't qualify for that. So they're definitely going to probably go for life. But also in this case, his father has been arrested because that is where he has been living and who has been raising him. I understand that his father and mother have had a tumultuous relationship, a lot of verbal abuse, possibly even maybe some physical, but it sounds like it's been more verbal abuse than anything, and drugs, and the whole battling going back and forth as a couple. And it sounds like this young man was raised around that. And also, I guess, just from what I've read, his father was trying to turn him on to something else outside of video games. But I hate it happened to be guns, like outdoors hunting. But as a mother, as a parent, I do understand and believe whatever you give your children to, pass time and like, put their minds in a different direction, show them something different, they can take that thing and build upon it. So I believe, just from what I'm understanding, he took the fact that his dad, showed him how to, go hunting and shoot deer. He's probably thinking in his mind, okay, if I can do this, what about if I do something at school? And my understanding is, as the authorities have gone to his home and went through his things, I believe he was researching a 2018 mass shooting, which I got to go do some more digging on that. So it's a whirlwind. It's a whole rabbit hole of information on this story that just happened on Wednesday. So I just want to go through, what I've uncovered in my research that I want to share with you guys. And I also want to mention another story that happened in Pontiac, Michigan. So I will say, if this goes the way that situation went, this will be the second time in history, U.S. history, that the parents are now getting prosecuted and getting jail time as well as their children for not reprimanding their kids when they were alerted by the school, the authorities, and asking questions about their children doing things that they shouldn't be doing, being a threat to everyone else in the school. So here's a little bit of what I've uncovered. 14-year-old student accused of deleting four people at Apalachee High School in Winder, Georgia. Both Colt Gray and his father, Colin Gray, have been arrested. His father has now been arrested because he supplied the weapon, which was an AR-15 rifle, after he assured the GBI when they were questioning him about Colt Gray being a threat to the school system. He said he had nothing to worry about. The GBI and the school had nothing to worry about, that wasn't the case. Um, he did mention that they had purchased the AR-15 rifle for the holiday, which was last year, Christmas time, December 2023. Okay. And so I'm going to come back to this other part because this is a lot to uncover because I want to give you the charges for the son and the charges for the dad. Um, the mother's been in trouble as well. I think I mentioned a little bit of that earlier. She's been in a lot of trouble as well. I guess when they were going through whatever breakup at the time, and before leaving, she got in trouble for keying his car, drug possession. I believe she had been on meth. It's a lot going on here. So yeah, the father, he's been accused of being verbally abusive toward the mother and Colt, from what we understand. The aunt, she's having something to say. I think she even went back and like removed some things off of her social media that she had to say, as far as like, she's standing up for him. She knows why he did it. So I guess she's been following the whole thing of like, if they're conducting themselves this way, as far as, being parents to him, this is why he's spinning out of control. So it's almost like she's saying she knows the exact reason how the world got here. Like they had a storm in their home, and now that storm is taking place publicly for the world to see. And it's just very, very, very sad. So she's been standing up for him, as far as saying like parents not being in his life in a positive way, which is the reason for the deletions at the school. And to sum it all up, basically saying that he grew up in a hostile environment. I mean, you can get that through all the research and everything else that everyone else has been uncovering as they speak about the subject. But May 2023, I believe, is when she left. And that's when the investigation began, when he was 13, from law enforcement, where he had been making threats online on the Discord app. And so that's when the investigators from Jackson County, which is where he lived at before he moved to Barrow County, which is where Apalachee High School is. So May 2023, they began to ask questions, why is he making threats towards the school? Of course, from what I understand, he says that's not true. It didn't happen. So the parents were interviewed, the dad was interviewed by the sheriff, both Colt and his dad, about the online threat on the chat for Discord to commit a school shooting. So this information was found out through the documents that were obtained through public records. So this is what it shows. And Colt, he denied it, said it wasn't true. But a little bit more digging, a Discord rep told CNN that the platform removed an account believed to be associated with Colt Gray, in May of 2023. Same time his mother left, they were going through what they were going through, the whole hostile environment and all of that. So at the same time she was leaving, this was being found out through Jackson County. He's making threats on Discord. So while they're battling, the son is spinning out of control. So this was in May of 2023 that the Discord rep said that they removed an account believed to be associated with Gray, and they removed it because it violated their policy against extremism. So we're starting there. His father stated that he did have hunting rifles in the house, and Colt was only allowed to use them when supervised, but he wasn't allowed to have access to them whenever he wanted to. So they cleared this case because even though there was a tip, nothing had taken place. So they dropped it. But of course, they still had it on file, that they had checked into it further. Okay, and I think his father also mentioned that I haven't heard this yet via the news. I'm going to continue to do my research to see what else I find out. But he mentioned that he had been picked on at school by the kids. I'm believing he had been picked on with the kids in Jackson County, not Barrow County, which is where Apalachee High School is. So I don't believe it was happening there, but they moved. So whatever he didn't get a chance to do in Jackson, he took it out on Barrow County at Apalachee High School. So his father, again, pretty much said, that he had been picked on by the kids at school. And so I guess like when they made the move from Jackson County to Barrow, he stated that he wanted to teach him about firearms and safety. He was trying to teach him, about outdoors. He was trying to get him away from video games so much. Kids these days, they're all techie kids. They want to play video games, play on their phones, do AI stuff. They know how to do everything that anybody in the tech world knows how to do, and probably more. So I can see how he wanted to kind of like get him away from that and put him onto something else. But my question is, why guns? And I say that because he's 14 years old. Kids can be very mischievous, curious, mischievous, wanting to try things. They have ideas in their mind. They have different things that they want to try to do and see what happens. And oops, if somebody dies, uh-oh, I didn't know that would happen. I just thought I'd try it and boom. Well, a gun should have never been at play at all as far as giving him something else to do in his pastime. There's got to be so many other things that they could have went did. They could have went on camping trips or something, anything outdoorsy outside of, pulling out the pow pow to show him how to do that. Because if he has anger and aggression and he wants to get this stuff off his chest, go get him some boxing gloves, boxing bag, and do the thing or whatever like that. Not a gun. A gun is deadly. You can't take that back what happened on Wednesday with the 4 people that were affected and all the families and all the school faculty and everybody over the world that's been affected by this is very painful because we all have kids that are in school and no parent, no family member, no friend wants to ever get a dreaded phone call like that you're having to rush to the school to come and get your child because someone came and did what he did because he's having an issue in his home life. And because he's spending out at home, the parents are going through what they're going through. That battle has spilled over into the school system and affected everybody else. It's like it's spreading. It's like an atomic bomb. That's how I view it. That's how I see it. It's really just a sad story. And so, of course, the father, he stated that he had some issues at the middle school in Jackson, like I stated, and that was going on between February and August of 2022. So again, like I said, that's how he ended up at Barrow County at Apalachee High School. So I just wanted to like read over that to give you the whole story from what I researched so far. Like, how did we get here? And like I said earlier, it's just really important to see how what is going on in someone else's life can truly affect other people's lives that had nothing to do with him or what his parents were going through. That was in their household. That had nothing to do with anybody at Apalachee High School. But again, like I say, we're all going through something or dealing with something, but it all just depends on how we deal with it. But we're adults, and then you got other kids. They may have things going on too, but they know how to be mature enough to handle it and just everybody handles stuff differently. You can never say how you handle anything if you're not in a situation. Some of us, I will say, maybe are stronger than others. But in this particular child's life, there was a buildup, it sounds like. And not to excuse it, because now he's going to have to pay the same price that another young man paid in Pontiac, Michigan at Oxford High School. He did the same thing. He deleted some children in 2021. He deleted 4 students. His parents are Jennifer and James Crumley, and the student that did this, his name is Ethan Crumley. So he's been convicted of a mass pow pow of the 4 students that he deleted. So he's getting life in prison forever. He's not getting out. And his parents, both of them already, they're both serving 10-year sentences apiece. So Jennifer Crumley, she's going to be in jail for the next 10 years, and the father's going to be in jail. So this is the first story that I was able to pay attention to the first time. So I was like, okay, now they're about to start arresting the parents. So if you're not checking behind your kids, if you're not watching what they do, you're going to pay the penalty for not watching your kids. So that means if you're not running your household like you should, as far as watching what they do, watching who they talk to, watching what they're getting into, peeping in their room, up under the beds and everything in the closet or whatever, to see what they hide in. If they have a weapon and the authorities have contacted you, the school faculty has contacted you, and you are not adhering to what they're telling you, you're sitting there saying what Colin Gray said, oh, he's not going to do anything. Well, guess what? He did. And since he did, both of y'all are now sitting in jail. Sounds like to me it's about to be just like Jennifer and James Crumley in Pontiac, Michigan. I believe from what I heard about this story, they had called him to the school because he had been drawing like bad drawings showing, a crime scene of someone getting pow-powed or somebody getting something done to them. They called them, told them about it. The mom said, "Oh, he's just playing around. It's nothing, serious. It's nothing to think anything about." And then so he does carry it out, and now they're in jail. And I think they had called her several times before about, like his behavior, him making threats. And I think even at one time he was seeing things like he was probably hallucinating or something. All of these things she downplayed and said he was just joshing, he was just playing. Oh, he's just kidding around. It's no big deal. Nothing to be alarmed about. Well, now they're in jail for the next 10 years. We cannot afford to sit here and pretend that something's not happening, especially when they're so young. They're developing, they're becoming their own person. Um, we can't afford to miss any of the moments that seem like something may be a little off, that you need to, take an extra eye, really pay attention, zoom in on them, pay attention to what they're doing. Because, like I said, as we're seeing, he's about to go to jail. He's about to go to jail. From what I understand, the father for Colt Gray, Colin Gray Sr., he's been charged with 4 counts of felony deletion. Can't say the M word on YouTube, so I had to say deletion. So Colt Gray has been charged with 4 counts of felony deletion per the GBI director, Chris Hosey. He said that Colin Gray Sr. was charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree deletion, the M word, 8 counts of cruelty to children. So we're there right now with just that. So the other 9 victims that have survived, those charges are about to get added on too. So now we got to see how that plays out. So again, I pray that, who knows, this may be the story that really does change the game. Something has to happen. I know the Republicans, they got a lot of people, making sure that they're good. And in turn for them making sure that a lot of people are good, they're keeping people's pockets fat to not change the laws so they can keep making money off of people's demise. Their children, family, whoever, because they don't want to change the laws. They want to be able to keep their weaponry to do what they want. And I mean, you saw what happened January the 6th, as far as, if they had something then, and I think some of them did or whatever. So if you want to have more acts like January 6th, you want to make sure you keep your weapons. We don't need January 6th. We don't need this happening anymore for any parents to be worried about something happening to their children. The laws need to change. I mean, how many times we got to say, we're sending our thoughts and prayers. We're sending our condolences. Well, I believe faith without works is dead. If you're not doing anything to change the laws, to keep this kind of stuff from happening, we're just praying in vain. We're sending our thoughts and prayers and our condolences in vain. I mean, you're wasting God's time. He created us to be vessels and beings to act, to do something. So while we're praying that God, please let this work out for you, please make this thing change, while we're praying that, we got to be doing something at the same time. So we can't keep sending these families thoughts and prayers, sending them condolences, but nothing is being changed in the laws. It's crazy. It makes no sense. You're wasting your prayer time, really, because the laws are still the same. They're still getting paid, and someone else's child or family member is getting wiped out. And the thing that's so crazy, it's supposed to be mental illness. It doesn't make sense to have mental illness, but you got to go in rage and go and delete somebody. That's what mental illness does. I believe it could be a little bit of that, but based off what we saw, what happened to Sonia Macy, I believe it's all demonic. We're not fighting against the physical, we're fighting against the spiritual. And so everybody doesn't have faith and believe in God. And so for the ones that don't have that faith and belief in God, it's nothing to them for them to come and do what this young man did or what that cop did to Sonia Massey. So I just wanted to talk about this because I'm tying it into the other story in Pontiac, Michigan, for us all to, be alert, be vigilant. And we're living in a time now, specifically this time, how I see it, we're living in a time now where we can't just think that all this stuff that's happening down here is physical. It is spiritual. A lot of demonic things are being unleashed on people, and they're taking it as, oh, that's nothing. That's just what happens. They're just mentally ill, or that's just what they do. That's this person's this, that's this person's that. No, it's time to get real. It's time to get serious and begin to see what all this stuff is really all about and how it is affecting people's lives. And it's happening more and more. I believe they said on CNN the other day, this is the 45th or 46th mass shooting in a school this year. So I'm praying and hoping, but I can't just pray by myself. Can't change laws by myself. It's something that we all got to do. It's a group effort. Something has to give because, like I said earlier, no one wants to experience this. We all have children, in school that we're trying to protect. I mean, I pray from the moment I get out of my bed, from the moment I drop my son off. I pray with him. I pray when I get back home before I start my day at work. I'm praying constantly for God to be a fence. But like I said, He may protect our children, but then someone else's children may not get that opportunity. And then it just depends on how God allows it to go. Again, all we can do is pray. But again, I just wanted to pop in and talk about that story because I've been hoping and praying for the longest that nothing would ever happen here in Georgia. Well, we're here now. Widener, Georgia is 50 miles outside of Atlanta. So that's too close to home. Atlanta is my hometown. And I was born at Grady Hospital. So now to me, it's like this stuff is in our backyard. And I mean, in our backyard and is trying to get to our front yard as if we don't already have enough going on. But I just want to talk about this story because, like I said, it's here in our state, a few counties over, and it's really sad. It's sad about the young man, from what we understand, the hostile environment, all these different things going on that, have brought us to this moment. But again, like I said, something has to change because what's about to happen now, from what I'm seeing, this will be the second case in U.S. history where the parents are about to be jailed for not handling their kids properly. So if they're not taking it serious, they better start taking it serious because see now they're locking up the whole family. And one more thing, that's what the devil wants. That's what he's trying to do. He ain't just wiping out one person in the family anymore. He's trying to take out everybody. So in this case, the first case that happened in Pontiac, Michigan, Oxford High School, he took out the whole family, the son, and now the mom and dad. Good thing is, I guess, they're going to get out, but somebody else would probably say, no, they need to stay in there too with him. So the devil is wiping out families. So now he's on to this family. I'm not sure if the mom is arrested or not. I think she has been before, but she's not now. I'm believing if she had been at the house when all this was going on, she probably would be locked up too. But as it stands right now, Colt Gray and his father are both arrested. Again, the devil is attacking families. So he didn't just want the son, he want the daddy, he want the mama, he want all of them. So this is why I'm saying this is not just a physical thing, this is spiritual. And again, like I said, people better start getting real about, what they believe, what they stand for, because time is winding up. When and how, we don't know, but it's time to get serious. It's time to get real and be vigilant and paying attention to everything that's going on around you, not just in your house, but outside of your house. Being more into the community, what's going on, and being vigilant about a lot of things. Because what it says is, it's not all about just you and yours. It's about everybody. I'm sure none of those people knew who Colt Gray was until now. Somebody that you don't even know has now affected your entire high school career as a teacher or student. And because of the spin out and the fallout that was going on in his home, was brought full circle Wednesday to the school, Apalachee High School in Widener, Georgia. So you get a chance, go out there and, pull up information on it. If I missed anything, which I'm sure, I don't think I missed anything, but I know there's a lot to cover. It was so much on this topic. I was like, wow, where do you stop? It's like a rabbit hole of, more information. So like I said, be vigilant, stay prayed up, Be active in your community as much as possible. Don't just only exist in your world, but pay attention to what's going on in the world around you. And definitely stay prayed up and begin to look at things with the spiritual eye, outside just the physical eye. We want to believe the physical, like, oh, it's just this, it's just that. No, spiritually, it's on a whole nother deeper level. So definitely, like, comment, and subscribe. If there's any topics that you want me to cover, I'd be glad to. And thank you for, tuning in tonight on a Saturday for news, views, and conversations. I'll see you next week.